is she? She said she'd be here at midnight exactly. I swear to God if she tries to scare me again. I hate you. I really hate you.
So, ready for a good Halloween scare? I know I am. My story is a deep, dark tale. I'm gonna take you through twists and turns into places you've never wanted to go, and only directly battling your nightmares. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I give you Stuckmann, Scary Movie Night, Part 2.
Welcome back to Stuckmann's Scary Movie Night. That's part 2, or Stuckmann's Scary Movie Special, whatever you want to call it. We're back here talking about scary movies. We both really appreciate the really nice response that we've gotten from the part 1. What did you think of that little intro? I wonder if some of them got it. It probably helps if you grew up in the 90s.
I love Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was one of my favorite television shows to come home and watch at night.
It's a fun, cheesy 90s show. A lot of the episodes are still on YouTube, and similar to Goosebumps, which we talked about in the last part, it's one of those shows that kind of helps if you grew up with it. If you watch it nowadays, it does seem very dated because it is dated. You see all the old 90s styles, like the backwards baseball hats with their hair sticking out through the hole in the hat, big baggy short jeans, like jean shorts. The show is cheesy, similar to Goosebumps, but it is still a lot of fun, and we wanted to do our own little tribute to it.
Oh yeah, I can't do Halloween without recognizing Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Right.
Alright guys, we're gonna lead into a skit this time.
This is a film when it came out in 1999 that had a response that was generated largely because people weren't entirely sure if this movie was actually real or fake. It was one of the very first ever mockumentaries, but a lot of people in 99 legitimately thought it was real. In fact, if you read Roger Ebert, one of the greatest film critics who ever lived, his review had uncertainty in it about if it was real or not, because it's the kind of film that just starts and ends with no credits or anything. So we wanted to film this skit, and we made it look very low budget. We did not use professional sound equipment, so the sound sounds really bad in this, but we did that on purpose to make it seem kind of like the original film. So hopefully you enjoy our skit. So, how do you feel about being in the haunted woods of Stowe, Ohio?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What exactly would possess us to go into these woods?
Looking for some stuff people left behind.
Some stuff people left behind.
Yeah, check it out.
I'm looking at your behind.
Of course you are.
That's what I'm doing. Now tell me, what is this?
Looks like it used to be a kid's house.
A kid's house or a swing set?
Maybe. You zoom in. Look. They have it down. There's a swing.
Do you think maybe the children sometimes still play on the swings at night?
Who knows?
The dead children?
Possibly.
Bom, bom, bom. You know what I think?
What?
I think I'd like to.
Check it out.
That's what I'd like to do.
Oh.
Someone engraved their names.
Yeah, look. Somebody painted a letter and engraved their names.
The guy in town said that John and Jenna were the kids that were killed out here.
I'm just making stuff up to scare me this time.
Maybe. Or maybe there's a witch out here that's going to eat us and rip our heads off, and
Well, she'll go for you first. You're the fattest.
that's not even true.
Are you saying I'm fat?
No.
Are you sure?
You are beautiful.
But you're saying that you're not the fattest.
Let's just go look for that witch. Yes.
What is am I behind, are you?
Maybe. Hey, I think I heard something over there. Yeah. Did you hear something?
No, I didn't hear anything. I must see if the wood's getting to you.
Yeah, that's nice. How do you suppose these things got launched into the wood?
Launched into the wood?
Yeah, those things up there, they're like in the wood.
I don't know. I guess somebody was really scared and wanted to get us out of here.
I think it was something else.
You think it was something else? You always want to think it's something else.
It's because I'm Agent fucking Mulder, you fucking fuck.
Oh, you don't use that type of language, are you, you little fucktard?
This is basically what the Blair Witch Project is like. But it's awesome. Well, fuckity fuck, I don't know. So the Blair Witch Project is a movie that nowadays some people don't like the film. They find it boring, they feel it's pointless, and that's understandable because nowadays there are so many found footage films that you can kind of look at it and think, wow, this isn't really that great because nothing really happens. It's a lot of people walking through the woods asking people questions and there's sounds and, you know, it leads to a kind of strange finale. But where this film really shines is when it came out and the response that people had to it and the oddness of the whole is it real, is it not real thing.
I remember watching it for the first time, being a little disturbed, thinking, this actually has some possibility of being real. No, it couldn't be. Maybe? Possibly?
Right.
No.
It's a very cheap way to make films, and they all tend to make money, and you can make found footage films for such a small budget. And Blair Witch proved that that is extremely profitable because the movie was made for like nothing, and it made skyrocketing amounts of money. The Blair Witch, to me, is just a creepy movie, and it feels right in October because a lot of it's in the woods, the leaves are falling, and you really do kind of get into the lives of these characters. I really got to give props to these actors because they actually did a tremendous job because there were many people who legitimately thought they were watching real footage.
When you watch this film, it does like make you jump and startle in places if you haven't watched it before.
If you have a night and you're free and you just want to watch a film that's kind of disposable but enjoyable for this time of year, check out Blair Witch.
Alright guys, we're coming in with another nostalgia piece. This is also from the 90s. It's called Hocus Pocus. I know, you can laugh at us.
I actually had not seen this film ever, and she showed it to me for the first time the other day because a lot of kids feel that it's, you know, it's kind of like a very, as you said, nostalgic movie that you watch in the 90s, you grew up with it, you watch it, you have fun with it. You're kind of aware of the fact that it's not really good, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it as a great film by any stretch of the imagination.
It's got Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker in it and another actress whose name escapes me at this time, but
Kathy Najimy?
Kathy
Name we can't pronounce.
Okay. But I gotta say, watching the movie for the first time as an adult probably didn't really do it any favors for me because the witches really got on my nerves.
Yeah, being an adult and watching this film is not easy unless you kind of put earplugs in a couple scenes. The kids are entertaining. You have to give props to the little girl. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the fact that this is in my house.
This is not a bad film.
No, it's not. It's a fun
movie.
childhood film. It's a fun childhood film.
It is an iconic Disney movie that I can't believe you never saw as a kid because I saw this in school.
It's a fun childhood film. It's just that it wasn't part of my childhood. The lambs, Clarice. Tell me more about the lambs. That's what I deal with on a daily basis. The Silence of the Lambs. Anthony Hopkins, iconic, classic performance. One of the best performances ever given by an actor, in my opinion. Jodie Foster, also Oscar-winning performance in the film. It's a movie that when you watch it, it's not just the performances that really suck you into this movie. The story is so dark and very disturbing. You got two great villains in the movie. One of them is Buffalo Bill. He locks girls down deep in holes that he digs in his house, and then he tucks his penis in between his legs and dances, and you don't get creepier than that. You just don't get any creepier than that.
Thinking of the name Buffalo Bill and his penis, and it's just...
Yeah, don't think about that too much. Don't think about that too much. So you got the really creepy and disturbing Buffalo Bill, but you also have the cold and calculating, smart villain in Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of a Hannibal Lecter, who's in jail for the majority of the movie, and yet he is so menacing despite the fact that you know this guy's behind bars or glass in this movie. And the best parts of this movie are those conversations between him and Jodie Foster's character, and you get to see Anthony Hopkins just shine so much in this movie. He rarely ever actually blinks in this movie. He said, "I don't want to blink hardly at all," as Hannibal Lecter. It's very creepy because you watch him and it's all in his eyes. Like, you can't take your eyes off his performance in that movie. It's so well done. It's a very scary movie because unlike certain films we have talked about that are just fun movies you can watch, this movie has possibilities. There are serial killers out there. There are cannibals out there. And certain parts of this movie, you feel like, yeah, this could actually happen. And so for that reason, it kind of gets under your skin.
We come from a state where there was actually a cannibal.
So that kind of hits home for you then.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't remember Jeffrey Dahmer.
Of course I remember Jeffrey Dahmer.
To me, that was always like, oh my god, we come from a state where this actually has kind of almost happened with the Jeffrey Dahmer story. It's like, it wasn't too far from here either. He was from our area.
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing.
About 20 miles from here, actually.
Yeah,
from where
let's
it
not
happened.
talk about that anymore.
Sorry, but I actually got the surprise in my life when I picked up this case and popped in the DVD and didn't know what the film was, because I didn't know what Silence of the Lambs was. I thought it maybe was just a cheesy horror film, and I was just thinking, oh, it's got to be good. It's got a little... I thought it was a butterfly at the time. Popped in the DVD, and oh my god, I was like... I can't even remember how old I was when I was like, oh, why did I get this? Why did I get this? Blockbuster betrayed me.
Not about lambs. Not about moths or butterflies. At all.
No.
There's hints of those animals in the movie, but, you know, oh, it's about lambs and butterflies.
Yeah, I got the shock of my life because I was young. I didn't know how to flip the cover over and read it.
You couldn't flip over a cover?
No, I could. I just, you know what I mean by when you're a little kid.
I can't do
you just
it.
go by what the cover looks like. You don't read the back.
I can't do it. Sorry. All right, guys. The next film on our list is the kind of film that we have to talk about. If we didn't talk about this film in this list, we'd be dumb. Usually I say, if your favorite film isn't in our list, I apologize. Sorry, this is our list. No, this has to be discussed. This movie has to be on this list. We hinted at it in the finale of part 1. A little shot of it in the beginning of this one too. And I hope you enjoy our skit of this classic film. Yes, Halloween is the film, and we're going to stop that, otherwise we're never going to get to this video, because it will be very distracting. Halloween, directed by John Carpenter. It came out in 1978. You watch this film now. In fact, you and I literally did just watch this today as a refresher. And you're like, wow, I've seen this a billion times. You know, there's a killer and there's a girl and she's running and she falls and everyone's stupid and oh, they had sex, so they're going to get killed. We just talked about Scream and how Scream parodied all of those things. But in 1978, this film shocked and terrified audiences around the world, and it was very profitable. It was made for hardly anything at all, and obviously became a cultural phenomenon in regards to slasher films in the 80s. There were so many of them, and you can look at Halloween and kind of blame it for that negatively. But I don't even really consider too many of the Halloween sequels at all. I just enjoy the first one. I watch it. Michael Myers as a villain really works still for me, even though I know it's a William Shatner mask spray painted white. And it also gave the world Jamie Lee Curtis in all of her body's glory. And I must say that is a very nice addition to the movie.
I honestly thought she was 40 in this film, though.
She has a mature face. She does. She has a mature... And that's one of the things... You watch the movie, you know, like, these are not 18-year-old high schoolers. Yeah. You know that. They're probably like 21, 25 or something. But the movie just has this great feel to it where it's the low-budget charm combined with John Carpenter's awesome score and the way he took a film that was actually supposed to be originally conceived as just this schlocky, let's just do this killer movie, get into theaters and see if we can make a quick buck. John Carpenter got a hold of that movie and he made it a lot better than it could have been. For that reason, Halloween has remained a mainstay in the world of like a thing you have to do every year around this time.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the slasher film. It's not the cheesy ones that came after it. It's the slasher film. This could possibly happen. There is mental institutions. The guy could break out.
In the first movie, it was just this insane man who is viewed as the personification of evil through Donald Pleasance's performance, which was very good, and he was kind of a name back in the 70s, and he added some legitimacy to the movie and kept it more grounded as an actor. He did a very good job in the movie. Like, the whole thing of this movie is that Michael Myers is just evil. He is evil, and everything about him is evil.
He's the boogeyman.
Right, he's the boogeyman. You know, they talk about him in that way in the movie, and it's kind of funny and silly, but this movie has like a deep undercurrent of this message that evil never dies. You can't kill evil. It will always be around no matter what. The other sequels made it all ghostly and revenge and resurrection and this and that, and it's all crap. But this movie is a classic.
Oh yeah, you can't go Halloween and not watch Halloween.
Right.
Well, guys, our next film is Nightmare on Elm Street, and not the remake.
No. The original, directed by Wes Craven, came out in 1984. A Nightmare on Elm Street is another one of those movies where it came out in a period where there was so much crap, slasher everywhere, and this is one of the ones that actually came out that really was good, and that's because it took it in a different direction. Freddy is a killer that can only get you in your sleep, in your dreams. So he can be anywhere in your dreams. I mean, if I had the chance to direct a movie like that, that would just spark any filmmaker's imagination.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, I can do anything with this guy. I can have him be in any setting, anywhere. I can set up anything creepy or scary that I think
with
of.
Any actor, any actress, anywhere. Each dream a little bit different and not just keep repetitively doing the same thing where you're strangling the person, slashing the person.
And of course, we have another iconic villain, that of Freddy Krueger, a man with the burned face and the clawed hands. What are you doing? And of course, the classic score as well. It's awesome. There's certain horror films from back in the day where as soon as you hear the music, you're like, yep, I know exactly what that is. Psycho is Halloween is and Nightmare on Elm Street is that classic. It's perfect. Like, it just feels like a dream. The musical score evoked that feeling. I loved how the film was able to do very clever scares as if the dreams were coming into reality, like Freddy's hand coming out of the lather while the girl's in the bath. I'm not a woman, but to me, as I watch that, I feel invaded. Like, my privacy has been invaded, because she's sitting there, her legs are literally spread open, and you just see this hand go like this, and I'm like...
You do take a lot of baths.
I love me some baths.
I have to remember growing up, and there is an Elm Street not too far from here. And I always, when I'd be walking past it, going, I wonder...
Yeah, I've seen that street sign.
Freddy Krueger lurking behind one of these houses, possibly.
So we've grown up next to Jeffrey Dahmer and in Elm Street. We are in a bad position.
Ohio's considered one of the most haunted districts,
I know.
actually.
Ohio has quite a bit of haunted history.
Yeah. All right, guys, here's a movie I haven't seen, so I'll let Chris talk about this, because I have not seen it.
We didn't get a chance to watch this film. We will in the future, but we watched literally 10 horror movies in the past couple of days. But Shaun of the Dead is a film that I think is extremely special because it's a combination of horror and comedy. It's the type of film that, as you watch it, you are so blown away by the directorial vision, and it's part of the Cornetto trilogy, directed by Edgar Wright, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. You got Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and The World's End, part of this unofficial trilogy. This was the very first one, and the one where people were like, wow, this is a serious talent, and I'm looking forward to showing it to you for the first time because it's a very silly film, but it has such a great heart in it. It's more funny than, say, Scream is. It parodies the zombie genre and zombie films in general, but like there's a scene where the only weapon they have against these zombies is their records, their old records, because this guy has a humongous record collection. So they're sifting through their records, and he's like, do you want to throw this one? He's like, oh, no, I love that one. They put it back. Do you want to throw this one? What's this one? Yeah, throw that one. I don't like that one. They throw it and it sticks in the zombie's face. You know, like, there's great scenes like that where they don't take it too seriously, and I'm looking forward to showing it to you. We won't talk too much more about Shaun of the Dead because I haven't had a chance to show it to her yet, but it is a very fun film. It's a very creepy film, and it's creepy in the best type of way because you can have a really entertaining time with it. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to our final film that we will be talking about. Yes, we didn't talk about The Exorcist, and we didn't talk about The Omen, and we didn't talk about this and that, and I apologize, but those films just simply aren't on our list. We're not saying they're bad movies. These are the type of films that we like to watch this time of year. This last film is a film that you guys generously submitted quite a bit of footage for, and I just want to say it was pretty cool to sift through that.
Yeah, it was actually really fun. We got a lot of good stuff. We apologize we couldn't get your submission in. We couldn't fit everything we got in. We got over 200-300 submissions.
A lot of stuff.
And a lot of stuff, a lot of it long. So we had to pick what we could, and we apologize if it isn't in there, and I think you're going to like what we did make.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy our cursed footage skit. It's actually my favorite skit that we've done. I saved the best for last. Enjoy. Who is it? once again, thanks very much for that footage. You guys did such a great job. And thanks to Eric Striffler from Pretty Much It for submitting a shot. That was pretty cool. He did his own version of the Norman Bates psycho face. Go check him out at Pretty Much It. I really appreciate that, Eric. Thanks a lot. The Ring is a movie that when I saw it in 2002, I was only 14 years old, and it did legitimately disturb me. It had something to do with the faces. And it wasn't so much what you actually saw on the screen, it was the thought. Because to me, I was starting to envision what happened behind the scenes in this movie. You see, in the opening of the movie, you got these two kids and they're watching a tape, and it seems very cliche, like, did you hear about that tape? Oh my god, like, what happened with the tape? Like, oh my, like, it seems like that cliched horror type film. But they watch it, her face changes, and it all goes wrong. And then later in the film, the mother is talking about how I saw my daughter's face, and then it just cuts to her in the closet, like, with this, like look. Terrified me when I was a kid. And it wasn't just the look, it was the idea of a mother coming home and finding your daughter who had crawled in the closet after being so terrified that her heart stopped, and there's your daughter in the closet, and that's how she looks now, and she's dead. The thought of that just, it still freaks me out.
Okay, guys, I have to admit, I laughed at this film. I really did. I couldn't make it through this film without busting out with laughter. It made me laugh.
This is the one film in our entire collection here that we do not agree on. And it's understandable. What was your environment when you saw it? Where were you exactly? Who were you with?
I was with my sister, and that was it. Actually, just my sister, and we were at home alone, and there was a pulled popcorn, and I believe we had just had Giannino's pizza, and...
So you actually were in a good position for it. You just didn't like it.
I know, you disagree with me on it. And
it's just a movie. This is an opinion. It doesn't really matter. It's just, to me, when I saw it, I view it also from the eyes of a wannabe director. Gore Verbinski directed this movie, who later directed Pirates of the Caribbean. His vision for this movie was remarkable. It's lit and framed extremely well. There are shots in this movie that I know are extremely difficult to set up, and certain elements of CGI combined with real life that was very impressive to me. And it's not just the tone and feel of the film that gets under my skin. It is a very well-directed movie, no doubt. It's not a perfect film by any means. It certainly has flaws. It's not considered like a classic movie at all. I just find it very creepy and disturbing.
I will give it its credit in the fact that it's actually really well shot. And I'll tell you that. It's very well done considering what type of genre it is. Usually you see them and they're just so poorly edited, so poorly shot. Yep. I give it that. It was well done in what it was trying to do.
And Naomi Watts, I thought, did a great job in the movie as well. Well, guys, that is the end of our Scary Movie special. We both really appreciate you guys watching, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
It's just a little, woozy. I'm sorry.
Okay. Guys, we really appreciate you watching. It was really nice. We had a lot of fun talking about horror films with you, and we just want to say, from both of us, thanks very much. We love to know what you thought of our skits, and we hope you really enjoyed it. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmann. Are you sure you're alright, hon?
I'm fine. I guess maybe it's just too much light.
Okay. Too much light. Okay. Alright, well... Sam. Oh, God. Yes, my fiance, I don't know what's happening. She just stopped moving. She's not breathing. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure. She just stopped breathing. We were sitting next to each other and she just stopped breathing. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I was right there with her. She stopped breathing. She stopped moving. You guys send someone over as quickly as possible. I'm not sure if she's okay. I need you to help me out here.